One of the things you have to do is to inspire confidence in others that you know what you're doing when it comes to screenwriting. And one of the ways to best do that is to be confident in your own writing abilities, that you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, that you make intentional decisions about your script and your story, and that you aren't just, writing, trying to figure it out and going by instinct. Because here's the issue. You have to hone your skills and work on them so they become natural, so they can then become finely tuned instincts. And when your instincts are serving you well, now you can be a confident writer. And if you're not a confident writer, or at least not as confident as you want to be, let me give you 5 things to help. The first thing to build your confidence: stop comparing and set goals. When you compare yourself to others, you lose every time. You see all the weaknesses in yourself and all the strengths in others, or at least more strengths in them than in yourself. And the big problem here is their goals are not your goals. And more than that, their skills and knowledge are different from your own. What you have to do to see yourself growing as a writer is to set measurable, tangible goals for yourself. And that gives you something to evaluate. Last year I couldn't do this, now I can. But if you are set on comparing yourself to others, you will never gain confidence. I'm sorry, that's just the reality. But setting goals helps you measure your growth. It gives you focus to help you improve. It gives you something tangible to work toward. So the first thing you've got to do before you do anything else, stop comparing yourself to others and set some measurable, tangible goals. And if you don't know how to set goals, a good place to start is to learn to set SMART goals. Just do a Google search. The nutshell is SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time specific. Basically, what a story is. A story is about someone who wants something badly, something that's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, by a specific time, and they are having trouble getting it. And by the specific time, they get it or they don't. So build your confidence as a writer. Stop comparing and start goal setting. The second thing you could do is have multiple strategies for all the parts of writing. So if you only know one way to outline, if you only know one way to figure out a story, if you only know one way of how to format a time jump, you're locking yourself into a problem. And you have no confidence in solving new problems. You can solve the same one over and over and over again, that's fine, but anything new? No way. So you have to learn to pack your toolbox with multiple strategies for executing different writing components. If you only know how to plan a story one way, learn another. Experiment with a new one the next time you write a script. If you only know how to write descriptions in one way, try another. Try to introduce characters differently. And you can even figure out what you can and can't modify when it comes to formatting conventions. Some of those can be bent, others broken, and you need to know which. So learn multiple strategies. If you can solve current problems in a new way, it will give you confidence that you can solve new problems that you can't even foresee that will come up, and you're now a more confident writer. Number 3, write a new script. Writing and revising one script for many years will not help you grow your skill as much as writing new scripts. Yes, you're trying to fix that one story you love, I get it, but the more you work on it, actually the more degrading it is to your confidence, because every time you come back to it, you find something else wrong, and you start thinking, I've worked on this script for 10 years, I must suck as a writer because I can't figure it out. And that's not true. You have more fortitude than all the other writers who have already quit by now. You just don't know it. And the way to know it is to write a new script. You can go back to the one you're stuck on later. It's fine, but write a new one. Chances are, in writing that new script, you're going to learn some things that will help you solve problems in that first one. So write a new script if you want to build your confidence. The fourth way to build confidence is one where I'm lumping a bunch of stuff together, and it's this: learn the vernacular. And this applies to a few different areas: storytelling notes, and hopefully meetings. As far as story and storytelling go, do you know what things are called? And do you know, really know what they are? Everyone likes to think they know what a story is. Oh, I have a good story. Do you? Do you even know what pieces you have to have in order to actually have a story? And do you know what they're called? And the same goes for storytelling. Do you know not only what the tools are called, but how and when to use all of them? My guess is that most of you probably know what dramatic irony is. But do you know that for dramatic irony to function properly, you also need a moment of revelation? And do you know what that is? Or what about advertising? And I'm not talking about commercials. I'm talking about the storytelling tool of advertising. Or what about elements of the future? Do you know the different types of time you can use in a story and when you might want to use them? Or do you just, like Skippy, trust your instincts and hope you have a story, fingers crossed? The people in that latter group, unconfident writers. The people who know what things are called, confident. And part of the reason is when you get a note about your inciting incident, you know what they're talking about. When you get a suggestion that the character is hard to understand, that you know that note has nothing to do with the character. It has to do with how you're telling the story and how the reader is experiencing their interaction with that character. And when it comes to the vernacular, one of the biggest things that shatter confidence is talking to someone else about screenwriting and you not knowing what they're talking about. When someone refers to Dark Night of the Soul, you should know that comes from Save the Cat. Now, I don't like that book in general, even though there are some good things in it, but a lot of people are familiar with it. It's part of the screenwriting vernacular, and you need to be familiar with it. So you need to know about story and storytelling so you can write and structure and craft a well-told story, and you need to be well-read and familiar with popular models and terms so you can engage in meaningful conversations when your scripts get to the point that you can begin sharing them with others in the industry and possibly get some meetings. So take some time and learn the vernacular, and it will make you a more confident writer in the process. And the last way I'm going to mention that can help to build your confidence as a writer is get feedback on your scripts. It's scary, I know, but you need to get some feedback. If you stay in your own little world and the only people reading your scripts and giving you feedback are those in your inner circle and your significant other and your mom, unless they are working writers in Hollywood, you need some outside feedback. Otherwise, you never really know how you are progressing as a writer. Where are you hitting the mark? Where are you missing it? And if you're in LA or New York or a few other places where groups of screenwriters are at and you can get their feedback, that's great. But that's not the case for many of you. And some of you may just want someone outside of that group anyway, even when you are in those places. Now, contests are a great place to get this feedback, but keep in mind that not all contests, and definitely not all contest feedback, is created equal. Some are definitely better than others. So lurk in screenwriting groups and find out who is getting good feedback from where. It will help you focus your efforts to get feedback that will be beneficial to you. And what you often get is some written coverage that outlines some points that are working and areas of improvement in your script. You can also seek out consultation, which is more individualized feedback. Most of the time it's written, sometimes it's not. Usually the communication is one way from the person doing the consultation back to you. But in either case, consultation or coverage, doesn't matter which one you're getting, you're going to find out where you're doing well and where you aren't. And this does help your confidence, even the stuff that isn't going so well, because now you know and you can set a goal to address that thing and improve upon it. Now, if you want to work with me, I do script consultation. I read your script, I make notes on the first 10 pages or so, usually other pages as well. We get on a call, I have a conversation with you about your script. It's a conversation, it's not one way. We talk about what is working, what isn't. I answer your questions. I point out things related to the specific script and things I'm noticing in your writing in general. And I never book more than one consultation a day so I can devote the time to you and your script that you need. If you want information about that, a link is below. Or if you just want to better understand the difference between coverage and consultation, watch this. Thank you for watching. Fun buttons and links below, including my script consulting service, if that would be of help to you. And when you tell a story that matters. See you later.